woke up in the morning and the sun broke through the open curtains. The birds sang too and they said, this is a day to celebrate.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to PS You Have No Plan. I'm Payton Smith calling in from LA.
I'm Emily McManus coming from Nashville. Thank
Woo!
you again for coming to listen with us. We are here and we are ready. In today's episode, I think a lot of people are going to have some opinions on, because I sure do.
Oh, yes. For those who haven't heard previous episodes, Emily and I on PS We Have No Plan cover everything from wellness, relationships, to deep talks, to pop culture. And today's is all pop culture, specifically Love is Blind.
Three.
And
it is popping. Oh my gosh. So first of all,
crazy.
So crazy. And I have to admit, and I apologize, that I can't believe that it's taken me this long to watch it, because the first one I was all about during quarantine and it was so good. But then when you brought it up, Payton, you like, have you seen Love is Blind 3 yet? I haven't. And so that was my homework. I made sure I sat down and I watched every episode. And let me tell you, it was incredible.
It's juicy. I don't know if you feel this way, but I think Love Island was such a massive TV show in the UK, and it sort of trickled into the US. And I know there's been a US season, and there's an Australian one, and there's all these different ones now. But I think that authentic, raw, behind the scenes, almost Big Brother-esque love shows are so addictive and so fun to watch. And I think Love is Blind pod scenes were very short, right? Like, and It was more so about seeing how they meld together, right? Which I sort of loved. That's why I enjoyed the season a lot. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And I think I'm glad you said that, because my girlfriends and I were talking about this. It is hard because they're saying I love you, which looks like it's in an afternoon, but surely they've been in the pods for a little longer than that, right? Like, they're just not putting as much time on the episodes.
Yes, I think so. That's what I think. Okay. And because it's like, get to the good stuff, which is how they actually operate in the real world, how they operate when they see each other. That's the fun stuff.
It's so good. So like, okay, so how are we going to map this out? Do you want to just start from the top, or do we want to give opinions? Because I feel like this is a very opinion-based show.
It definitely is. Maybe we should give just a quick summary in case people haven't seen Love is Blind, though I'm sure you have. But the premise of the show, just in case, is that a bunch of people sign up to be in these pods where they can't see each other, and they have a bunch of conversations with a bunch of different people, and they match up. And then at the end, the goal is to get married. And they go up to the altar and they say, I do or I don't. So that's the whole show. And it's sort of interesting because, like Emily said, they can fall in love really quickly. They say yes to marriage really quickly before even seeing each other. And then they see each other. And it's like such a strange thing. So it's a social experiment is how it's positioned, which is interesting. And the two hosts are Nick Lachey and his wife, Vanessa. Wait, what's her last name? Vanessa Lachey?
I was going to say Carlton, but that's not right.
Don't think that's right.
That's not right. I mean, I think she does go by Vanessa Lachey, but when she was like a video DJ on MTV, she went by something.
Yeah, it's like, what's her name?
Vanessa.
I don't know,
but let me tell you, I have a bone to pick with her. She annoys the shit out of me on this show.
Oh my God, tell me everything.
She meddles. She is not a good host. She needs to take cues from Andy Cohen for all of the Real Housewives reunions that he takes, because she just, I feel like no matter what, she's going to come after people, and that's not her place. Like, I feel like she's supposed to be there as a host to like direct the back and forth, ask the questions and whatnot, but she comes after people. You know what? I'm just going to dive right into the reunion. I'm sorry. But the way that she was talking to, what's his name? Cole. I thought she was being a real big bitch.
Okay, to make someone cry like that on a reunion. I mean, everyone cries on these whatever specials and reunions, but that was authentic, genuine cry. That was like a sad. I was like, oof, this isn't planned. This is sad.
No. Yeah. And I couldn't agree with you more. And I feel bad for him. I feel really bad for him because I do think in the beginning when the pods when they're all still in their pods, like I think it was pretty obvious that him and Zanab
Zenib
Zenib were not a good match. Like, did
at
you feel
all.
that? Not at all. Like nothing about their energy to me said, "Oh yeah, these two are gonna make it."
Right. And I do think they did an interesting. One of the couples, Cole and Zenib. Cole is this very stereotypical kind of simple white guy, right? Who's like just
Kind
from,
of
I don't even know.
fratty.
Yeah, kind of fratty, kind of goofy. And Zenib is this in her 30s, has this really deep, sad story, lost both her parents from the UK. She's just has this deep rot history. She has a lot of baggage, to be honest. And I think it's like that match. I
It
never saw
wasn't.
it.
No, no. And it's so hard because you're right. Like she has a lot of like sad history and it was
Yeah.
tragic, but almost felt like she took her baggage out on Cole.
Oh, for sure. She has these deep insecurities that she could not confront herself and
Mm-hmm.
projected to me. That's how
Mm-hmm.
I saw it, projected it onto Cole. Like she has some body issues, like most women these days. And anytime
Mm-hmm.
he commented on any food, I saw her just be like, "Oh, so what are you saying? What are you saying to that? What are you telling me not to eat?"
Exactly.
And I don't know if maybe he was. And honestly, I asked Luke to not comment on my food because I don't like when I feel sensitive about food stuff. So I get it. So I get if you
Mm-hmm.
don't want your partner to comment on your food intake or snacks or anything, that's totally fair. But to villainize him for it, I'm like, I don't know if he really meant anything by it.
I don't think he did. And they had only been together for 2 days or something like that. So he's learning their relationship.
Yeah,
And also, I will have to say, reality shows, they're looking for juice. They're looking
of
for the dirty
course.
stuff. So at the end, when she said that the like producers and editing protected him, no, they did not. If it was there, they would have showed it. Like they would have done anything to have made it more juicy, in my opinion, I think.
For
And they showed that
sure.
the like cutie clip afterwards, and there's no way he meant anything by that. Because he didn't even say anything.
It is funny because I think she thought by airing that clip that it would all be like we would all
Yeah,
see the thing
vindicated.
and it was totally the opposite where I was like, "Oh, Cole's just immature and he just doesn't get it."
That's it. He's just immature. He doesn't get it.
Right?
No,
I
absolutely.
really
If anything, he was trying to be super sweet.
agree. He's like, "I offered you a poke bowl earlier. Why didn't you eat that? Why'd you just have a banana today? Don't eat a snack. We're going to a big dinner." And she's like,
Right. She goes, he said I couldn't have two cuties. It's a serving. So he's telling me I'm getting fat and everything. Like, Zenib, no, he didn't say
"No.
that. He did not say that. And then, oh my God, Payton. Oh my God. Just how
What?"
she just like leaned into him at the altar.
Like that felt practiced and
Premeditated.
rehearsed. Yes.
Agreed. That sounded malicious, rehearsed,
Yes.
everything. And it was a complete 180 from like how she started.
She did a prayer. She's like, "I love you. Praise God. But fuck you and help to this and that to that. And you ruined me." And then walks off. I was like,
What?
"What just happened?" And he's standing there flabbergasted. Yeah, that was to
Rightfully
me,
so.
you don't publicly humiliate a human being, no matter how they treated you. I just don't
Mm-mm.
find that to be gracious at all.
No, clearly she does have a lot of things that she needs to work through personally because I don't think somebody would, like you say, like you just said, air that so publicly on a TV show in front of family and friends, like so dramatically and just like mean-spirited. But I also thought it was very intriguing to see her mom or her stepmom go over to Cole afterwards and almost console him in a way of like, I think what she did was wrong. Like to me, like that
Yeah.
gesture was her saying like she's wrong.
Yeah. I think the whole thing was a little odd, but I will
Very
say
odd.
I do understand why she was pissed at him. He did a lot of wrong as well. Like
Of course.
rating her and telling her she's a
Oh my
9
God.
and Colleen, the other girl he dated in the pods, was a 10. So fucked up. Like so not okay. The way he's like, "You look different without makeup on." And she's like, "Oh," as she's taking her makeup off. It's like, why are you saying that's rude?
I know. It is, but again, and I'm not defending Cole, but I think it goes back to immaturity. And I don't think he realizes what he's saying, how she was taking it on, which he needs to realize that. Like, he can't be just saying that stupid shit and like that's
Yeah.
hurtful.
Yeah,
But I think that like they were just oil and water. The things that
for
he
sure.
says and the things that she held on to did not work for each other.
Oh, it's a perfect example of this woman had a lot of deep thoughts and she thought through before she speaks. I'm sort of similar. I think a lot before I speak, and I have people in my life that just say whatever the hell's on their mind. And I'm like, why are you saying that? That's rude. Think through your thoughts first. And I truly think that was just them. He was just like, this guy's blue, and doesn't,
Yeah.
he's like a little squirrel. He didn't think, he just speaks. And she's very deep and thoughtful. So I get her. I don't think either of them are the villain, right? I think it's just both coming, like you said, from different places and
It wasn't
oil and water. No.
Yeah, that pot experiment was not a good one.
I also don't love when he said, I've dated lilies. I've dated a girl named Lilies in the past. That was a little bit like, okay, I don't know if you know that, but that's a little racist to say to a woman of color that you've never dated a woman of color and you're used to white women named Lily.
Right.
And that's why you ranked her a 9. Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's his reasoning for why he was inappropriate with another girl. And, that's unacceptable. Yeah.
Yes, it's unacceptable. It's like, what are you saying over
What
here?
what are you saying?
I mean, hands in the air. I just don't like, I don't even know what to say right now because I'm just, it's crazy. And that's why I love these shows so much.
Me too. It's like, it's like, that's what I told you. It's like, you can just criticize and you can hate watch, but you also empathize with them. You feel bad. She should have ended it with him there though.
Yes.
Goodbye.
That should have been ended many, many, many moons ago.
Agreed. So that's
so crazy.
That's that. I mean, what did you think about other couples? I think we have to talk about the hottest topic yet. New news, SK and Raven.
Breaking news. Like literally woke up to Google alerts about it today.
Wild. I was on TikTok and I saw all of this. So can you I feel like you know more. What happened?
Give a little rundown. So apparently a girl came out on Instagram saying that she actually was dating SK for a couple months and they were actually boyfriend and girlfriend for sure, for real. They were going on trips. They went to Ibiza, England. They went to a wedding together and all of this stuff. And I believe that they broke up before the show.
Okay.
But then they got in contact again, like when the show was over, and he told her that he was engaged, but it wasn't real. It was just for the TV. So, newsflash, roundup to today. Apparently, that's all bullshit. Like, he has been lying this whole time to Raven, and he had been dating this girl and going back and forth. And then when he and Raven got together, like engaged and everything, and now as we know, like they're dating, he was still contacting this other girl. And then another thing, like clearly this literally all just happened yesterday or this morning because there was a photo posted by a fan that saw them somewhere out in the wild and they were together in the morning. And then that afternoon, all of her pictures with him were deleted. And like she was, I know. And then she was commenting on people's like comments about like, you really dodged that bullet or thinking about you. And she's like, thank you and stuff like that. So apparently like it literally just happened. And like, I don't know, but I am shocked by that one.
I'm shocked. He seemed like the golden boy. Yeah. He was so thoughtful, respectful, introspective. He respected her. They didn't have sex until they learned each other and met each other and fell emotionally in love, treated her like a queen.
Everything. His mom was so lovely. Like she took Raven every single thing. And then just that she was like willing to include his culture into their wedding and their life. And she went through so much to learn. And then him too, like, I don't want to get married right now. I want to do when it's right for us.
Yeah. And was like, you're so right. She was so open to the Nigerian culture and loved learning about it and was so open-minded, asked questions, like, and then he's at business school at Cal, right?
Yes.
And she lives somewhere else. And so they were doing long distance, but even at the reunion, they seemed so elegant and
Yes. And they were the one, like, when they got together, I'm like, this is not going to work.
me
And,
too.
right. And they ended up being like the perfect match for each other.
Yeah.
They were just so opposites attract, and they complemented each other so nicely. And honestly, hearing this morning was just a little bit of a dagger to the heart. I'm sad about this one because I was really happy for them. I was rooting for them.
I agree. And you know why I'm also sad? It's like, that's scary that someone can be that manipulative. Like, that is, I was watching Where the Crawdads Sing, and there was, I don't know if you've seen that great movie,
I
great
haven't.
book. Oh, everyone
Okay.
go watch, everyone go read. Actually, the book is like so good. Anyways, there's a character that is manipulative in that same way. He says all the right things. He's a gentleman. He takes her out and da 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 da. Meanwhile, he's fully engaged to another woman and living this double life. I don't know how people act like that. How do they do that?
I don't know. I don't know. And it's okay. So I have a friend, and I'm going to exclude every single detail about this, but she had something happen to her like that. She was dating a guy for close to a year. Maybe it wasn't a year. Maybe it was shy of a year, but like they were a great match. And like he totally balanced her out, came from a different world. So it was like nothing was like intermingled, and they didn't like a lot of I'm okay. I can't keep going into this. But anyway, he lied about every single aspect of his life. He lied about what his career was, everything from his past. And once it started to all unravel, it was unbelievably mind-blowing that somebody could actually be like this and act like this to another. And I myself was almost like, I felt bamboozled because I'm like, I feel like I have a great read on people, and I can tell when they're like a really good person, and I would have had no idea. And I mean, this guy is trash, and I thought he was the complete opposite.
Oh, that is
It's
just so heartbreaking, especially when
scary.
it's scary. It is scary. And you see these serial killer movies and documentaries like Ted Bundy and all these like attractive men that can lure women in with their
Yes.
deceitfulness. It's just like, ugh, this is scary and gross. And someone, not that I'm comparing SK to Ted Bundy, but it's that level of like deceitfulness that people can enter into. That's
Yes.
gross to me.
And just that they are so good about the lie, that they have thought
Yes.
out all of these details to like, because clearly you have to like really think about these lies in
Yeah.
depth and know what you're going to say if like a question comes up or if any like moment arises, like, and it has to be consistent. So to have somebody that's able to do that, that's a deeper level of shit, like crazy shit that I think in my mind I'm like, there aren't many people like that, but actually there really are.
Totally. Honestly, that's what it says to me as well. What about a good couple? Because there are two couples that are still together, right? There's Colleen and Matt
Mhm.
and Brennan and
Alexa.
What do you think of them?
I have strong opinions on well, you know what? I have strong opinions on both of them. I would say if I were Colleen, I would have taken Matt's outbursts as red flags from
Yeah,
the
I would
get-go.
run
Like,
for the effing hills. He's
right?
manipulative.
Yes, yes, yes. And every time then they would talk about it, he would call them like little mishaps. Like, I don't know about you and the life that you've lived, but that is not a mishap. You were screaming, you were
Yep.
running out, you were saying you were
Yep.
leaving, you packed your bags, you were so mean to her when she was just being calm and trying to figure out a situation. And he did that 2 or 3 times, right?
Yeah. And she's been nothing but honest with him, even when it was hard to be honest. Even when she
Yeah.
was like, listen, I made a really big mistake. I let, this guy flirt with me and I flirted back. I just want to be honest with you about that. And then he was like, I'm done. I'm leaving. This is not the type of woman I want. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. And then she went out one night and that set him off. I'm like, okay, you've got to run, Colleen. This guy is
Yep.
psycho. Like, this is not cool
I
at
agree.
all. And don't you think also, like, I felt like she was able to adapt and like change so much for him, because in the pods she even said that she doesn't have like deep relationships. Like she was
Yeah.
very surface. And
Yeah.
through her relationship with Matt, she became really deep and involved. And I don't know. That one to me is almost like gross.
Yeah. It's a little scary to me. I noticed that as well. And it's, yeah, it was a little scary to me. It was like red flags for sure. And I was like, you just need to be cautious of this one. Anyone who has that short of a their temper can just go off really, right? Like their patience and their
Yes.
level of kind of before they explode is this small.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a scary guy. That's a scary because we're human. We're going to make mistakes. And if someone blows up over little mistakes and their patience is really thin, that to me is a red flag.
Agreed. And like not the kind of energy that you want to be around. And also
No.
that somebody can blow up that big. It was intense. It was so intense. And I just felt really bad for her.
I
really
agree.
did. And I still do. Like
And you know what's sort of interesting? Again, I don't know any facts. This is just me assuming. She's a ballerina. She grew up as a ballet dancer. And I do feel like the environment of a ballerina is like to be perfect and you get screamed at. And I've heard horror stories about like them commenting on their bodies and their movements and everything. And they have to be kind of perfectly poised. And I wonder if she's sort of used to that.
always being critiqued.
Yeah. And like is used to kind of that energy. So I don't know. That's just an assumption, but I worry about them.
I do too. And you know, this was another bone to pick a bone that I had to pick with the reunion and Vanessa Lachey, is there was so much time and effort focused on picking on Cole, and that they let slide. I felt with Matt. I felt like they let Bartise slide, like with all of his crazy shit that he put Nancy through. And it was just very like off level. Like it was uneven with the critique of people. And then also I don't like Alexa.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so
Yeah.
they're definitely by far my favorite couple. Well, SK and Raven were, but now it's Alexa and Brennan. Brennan, I think, is a great guy. I think he truly believes love is blind. He went in and was so like the whole time was so open and honest, and the second he met her was so gracious and lovely. Like the physical attraction was there, the emotional attraction was there, and nothing had changed for him when he saw her versus almost everyone else was, as soon as they saw each other, they were sort of like, do I like you still?
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Even she was sort of like, I don't know, it's weird, like you're physical here, and I don't know. He was the only person who was like, doesn't change for me, still love you.
Which
I love.
I do too. I do too.
Tell me. What are your thoughts?
Okay. I feel like he is the guy that will just follow suit and say yes to her.
Yeah, he's a bit of a yes man for sure.
He's a yes man. And I like everything that she said, like he followed up, or like when she started like coming for Cole or anybody, he was just like, man, yeah, you can't say that, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, and now that we look at everything as it actually was, I don't know. It annoys me because I just feel like he can't stand on his own 2 feet. Like his opinions will vary according to hers.
Oh, I agree. I definitely agree. And I have friends who, I'm not going to obviously say names, but
No, it's okay. We're both treading on water with friends on these ones.
But who have partners like that, who like I'm thinking of this one, and they never call them out. And my friend can say the most outrageous claims and be like, this is fact, this is objective truth. And their partner's just like,
Oh,
like, what are you saying? Like, you clearly know, like it could be, oh no. I look outside and the plant that's green actually is blue. And he would be like, it is blue. I'm like, what are you all on? Why are you calling her out? She's lying. Like, it's so
what are
I
you
agree.
afraid of?
That it's a scary dynamic. Like,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
And I guess maybe it's because we don't have those relationships like for ourselves, thank God, and never would put ourselves in those positions or be those people. But it like, and this is just obviously they're my punching bag right now because that's what they were like. That's who I saw on the TV. But any relationship or couple like that, it drives me nuts. I'm just like, can you not stand on your own 2 feet? Can't you have your own opinion on something? Like, it doesn't have to be like this perfectly like aligned everything in the same row. Like, how boring is that?
And it's like, don't you want your partner to hold you accountable if you're not saying truthful things or if you're saying outlandish claims? Like, wouldn't you want your partner to be a partner and be like, what are you saying? Like, if Luke were to just let me go on rants without being like, hold on, nope, rewind. Like,
oh, I'll be saying
God.
something and Jeff's like, no, they didn't say that, or that's not how it goes. I'm like, are you sure? Like,
yeah.
But like also to be with somebody, if like you were afraid to like correct them or whatever, that doesn't sound like it's a very good foundation.
No. And I always say that to Luke as well, because we're going through a bit of a challenge, and maybe we can go into this at a different episode, but residency has been really, really tough. And like growing our relationship has been really tough. And I'm honest about it. I'm like, I'm frustrated. We haven't spent enough quality time. My number one love language is quality time. And my second one is acts of service. And you've done nothing as a partner around the house. It's really, really hard. I'm not feeling the love. And, you know, whatever, we can go into it at a different episode. But he was like, sometimes I wish you weren't so fucking honest. It's like, sometimes you could just be a little bit like lie a little bit and be like, I know you're trying really hard. I'm like, listen, I'm never going to be the girl that is just going to be the yes man. Like, it's all good. It's all good. No, if I'm frustrated, you're going to know.
Absolutely.
I don't want fear around emotions. And I do see that with Brennan and Alexa. I'm like, oh, buddy.
Good luck.
Speak your mind.
It's such a good, how you just said it though, I feel is such a lovely way to say it, a fear around emotions.
Yeah. What is that?
You can't. And obviously everybody in different moments, they're just like, you're tired or you're overwhelmed and you're like, I can't hear that right now. But if you're going to sugarcoat it for every time, then it's not going to work, you know, or like nothing will get done, or you'll have resentment towards one another, and it's not healthy.
Nope. I am with you. So so you don't love Alexa because she's a little too dominant over Brennan and doesn't sort of let him speak his opinions? Or are you mad at Brennan? Or are you sort of like, I don't love Brennan because he can't stand on his own 2 feet?
Both.
Oh, both. Yeah.
Yeah, both. It's not one or the other.
You're like, they're both to blame.
They're both shitbags.
I love
true, though.
It is.
Like,
it is.
If one, like, she can be dominant, but the other guy can be like, no way. And he can be, you know what I mean? Like they can, it's just like anything. I blame both. I blame them both. They're both guilty in this situation.
I agree with that. Okay. The final couple that we need to touch on quickly is Nancy and Bartise. So what did you think about that whole couple?
You go first.
Okay.
I feel bad. Like, I don't know. I didn't. No.
It seems somewhat similar to our analysis of Cole and Zenab. I feel like Nancy was a bit too emotionally mature for Bartise. Like, I think Bartise wanted to be that good guy that didn't care about the looks of someone, but he's still young and he still does care. And he's still, I don't even know if it's a youth thing. He cares about looks. He does. He's a bit vain himself. He's like, goes to the gym, loves his body, whatever. Those types of people, they care about looks. And he was not physically attracted to Nancy. You could tell he was forcing it.
And then said it over and over. And
he was too honest. He didn't sugarcoat
it at all.
No.
It's like, no, he was very healthy was his emotion. But it broke my heart little by little every time when he would tell her he wasn't physically attracted to her. And she's like, that's okay. Like, she kept wanting to work on it. I'm like, it just made me really sad that she
I
was
agree.
willing to take that
She kind of bugs me
on.
though, to be honest. I was like, why
Go,
are you
let's hear
taking
it.
this? Well, why is she
I
taking it?
agree. I
It's like,
agree.
stand up. Why are you being like, baby, it's okay.
Oh my
Baby,
God.
don't. I was
How
like,
she kept calling him baby. And like, even after they said, I don't, and she says, it's okay, baby. I'm
like, what?
he's not baby anymore.
He's
He
not
should
baby.
not be baby.
Like the second he said certain things to her, I feel like she should have taken more of a stronger ground. And I think she was a little desperate. Oh, I feel mean saying that. She's a little
No.
desperate for marriage. I was like, oh, you're clearly not. This is
Yes.
clearly not your dude. Why are you
This is
forcing
not
it?
working. Yes. I couldn't agree with you more. I really couldn't. And it's weird because at the beginning, I really liked Bartise at the beginning.
Me
I really
too.
did a lot because I thought he was just like really sweet and outgoing and
Same.
like just, I don't know, the interactions were really good. But I mean, that's not a match made in heaven either.
No, no. And but I do agree with you where the production or the host, I'm not sure who, villainized Cole more than they did Bartise when I was like, they seem very similar to me. They similarly say kind of,
Yes, and I do feel like Bartise like actually said things on purpose that were more hurtful. Like, you know what I mean? Like we were saying, I feel like Cole really is immature and
yeah,
perhaps not perhaps the things that he did say that were hurtful. I don't think that he realized how hurtful they were.
yeah,
But Bartise saying like, I'm not physically attracted to you. The girls that I like are tall and blonde, or like I'm the one that everybody comes to. And
you're right. He was more, yeah, he was,
he was
you're right.
he was so like
Full of
he
himself.
was
It was
so
more, it
yes.
comes from a place of being overly confident, whereas Cole, it came from a place of just not knowing. Yeah.
Right, right. And then when he said like when Raven walked in with that body, like she was so hot, like he said that to Nancy. And I'm like, how is this not being talked about? Like he was so just disrespectful to her.
Disrespectful, for sure, disrespectful. And it is wild. I mean, we're both married, right? Like, I was just like, I cannot fathom having my fiance during such a sensitive time, right? When you're right, you take the step where you're more than a boyfriend and you're right before you're getting married, to have them act like any of these people. I was like,
No, no.
what's
And
going
one of my
on?
biggest pet peeve is when people say, I'm doing this out of respect and to be honest, but they say something disrespectful. Like, am I, no, that doesn't work. That does not negate what you're about to say at all.
No, right? It's like, I don't want to be rude, but I don't want to,
Yes.
it's like, what?
If you have to say but,
Like,
yeah.
instead, you should say, this is going to be hurtful and mean. And because that's what it
I can
is.
respect. Exactly. Not like, I'm just trying to be transparent and honest for us. I know we can keep working on this, but Raven is a smoke show and I'm not physically attracted to you, but you're my fiance.
Oh, what's going on? And then Nick and Vanessa Lachey, that is sort of an interesting that they position themselves, they put themselves on this platform, on this like pedestal, like we are the representation of love and marriage.
And we have
Let me
made
tell
it.
you. Yeah.
1000%. Like, well, you know how we do it in ours, and like we've been married for it's like,
yes.
listen.
And they're both conventionally attractive and like these like rich celebrities. And they're like, this is what
Yes.
happiness is. And all these other people, I'm like, these are normal people with normal
Payton.
bodies and lives. Like
Payton. How did you catch the moment where Vanessa was almost questioning Colleen and Matt about finances for moving in together?
yes.
I was like, you girl, step aside. You have no idea about the real world and expenses, and how she was saying that really made me want to come through the TV at her.
I forgot about that. That was so ignorant. She's like, I don't quite get it. Why don't you live together? They're like, oh, like our rent? Yeah. And she's like, wouldn't it be less expensive for you guys to live together? And they're like, yeah, we're just like under rentals and we don't want to leave our roommates. Like,
and we can't break our agreements because you have to pay for that.
Like,
I was just like, I was pissed.
I was too. And I feel like she was trying to uncover this deeper rooted thing. And they're like, it's just financially doesn't make sense for us right now. I felt like that was rude. Yeah.
It was very rude. It was a very, very rude because one, that's none of her business. And if that's the way they want to live their life, that's how they're going to live their life. Because you know what? If somebody said that to Vanessa, she would have been pissed too.
You know what? You're so right. You said this at the beginning. They place too much judgment. You need to be bystanders. You need to be, what's the word? Like unbiased
Yes.
opinion. You're just a host helping facilitate this
Relay the
experiment.
conversations. Exactly.
Right?
Ask the questions, go
Yes.
here, go there, bounce it back and forth. But she does. She like inserts herself
You're right.
into the show. And it's annoying.
I agree. There's too much opinions here. Like you're just don't steal the show. It's not the Vanessa show.
It's definitely not. And let me tell you, girl, you appeared 2 times.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'm so glad that came up in our conversation, because it really rubbed me the wrong way, because it was very judgy.
There are hosts that are not great at these shows. And this is one quick tangent. I feel that way about Tyra Banks on Dancing with the Stars. I don't know if you've been watching, but she needs a little bit of coaching on how to be a host. Hosting there's a technique to it, people.
There is. I have not been watching, but I have been reading some things on social medias, like calling for her to be like removed because she's so horrible at it.
You know, I'm a D'Amelio girl. I love my Charlie and my D'Amelio family. They're the social media royalty. So Charlie and Heidi, her mom, are on Dancing with the Stars. And frickin' Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker are there because Charlie's dating Landon Barker, Travis Barker's son. So cute. And Tyra Banks, like during one of the episodes, was like, Logan over there. Look at Logan. And like said the name wrong. I'm like, it's Landon. You have a cue card. Read the cue.
Right.
Yeah. Silly things like that. It's like, you're a host on live television. You can't, I don't know. No, there's things like that.
I agree with you. Well, and I think about these things too. Your job, I know there's always more to it than what we see, but you are getting paid so much money. This is a very cool job. I'm sure there's not a buttload that you have to remember. So like those little things, it's like, just get it right.
Yeah, it makes it look unprofessional. Same with the Vanessa thing. It's you inserting your opinions and positioning yourself in this like position of power. It just makes you look kind of icky. It's instead of make it the show.
No, you're right. That is so well said. It just looks really unprofessional. And it cheapens the show for me. Like I feel like everybody should take a cue out of Andy Cohen's.
Andy is great. You're right. He does a great job of getting the juice, getting the drama, but not really like showing where he stands necessarily. Unless there's something truly uncalled for, then he'll be like, listen, that's uncalled for, right? And
he can step in for sure.
Right.
Like but I don't know. He just has a very good flow to his reunions, in my opinion. I'm very biased on that because I love him and I love Bravo. So obviously, like that's my thing. But I do think that he's just a really good host.
Andy Cohen, Illy.
Come on. We want Andy Cohen on PS. We have no plan.
Manifesting. Truly, that would be amazing. So,
and also I'll extend the invitation to Vanessa Lachey if she wants to explain herself about the rent comment.
Please, and we're Emily and I are ready to be wrong. So everyone tell us if we are wrong. This is a podcast with open opinions. We just share our thoughts, we share our stories, we share whatever. So please call us out.
Let's go. I welcome it. Come on. I'm fine. Okay. Most times I am wrong.
I was like, it's fine.
It's not good. One eye's open now and I can't really feel my heartbeat, but I'm fine.
Oh my gosh. This was so fun. I hope everyone enjoyed listening to this rundown from Love is Blind, because I had a lot of fun doing this review.
I had a lot of fun too. And you know what? Maybe like we should do these things more often.
Yeah. Please tell us what you guys think. Thank you so much for listening. We post a new episode every Thursday. This is PS We Have No Plan.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
I woke up in the morning and the sun broke through the open curtains. The birds sang too and they said, "This is a day to celebrate."